as for AZ Fudd. Her 100th career game tonight for the Huskies. She opened that Tennessee win with 7 straight points, breaking out of her shooting slump in a major way. "23 wins, 12 of them in league for the UConn Huskies, and ready for a rematch with DePaul here tonight in Chicago." There's Fudd. 27 points without a free throw attempt. Last time out, she only missed 6 shots. And the Huskies ready to roll. We're off and running. For Sarah Strong.
And right here immediately, the Huskies get a good look inside the paint, but a big point of emphasis, Coach Pizzotti talked to us before the game, is taking care of the ball. They've done so in January, came out on top a lot of those games, but they have to take care of the ball against this UConn Husky team.
Fudd from shade, and we're underway. Gina Dvoria, freshman from Glenview, Illinois, part of a talented underclass roster for DePaul. They're growing from their freshman ranks.
Well, the fact that they have one upperclassman in their starting lineup speaks to just their youth. And I think when you have a team that's young, that's learning, that's going through the growing pains, you want to see positive signs in the second half of the season, especially in conference play. And Coach Pizzotti has seen that just in terms of how they're executing offensively, how they're trying to get out to faster starts to start the ball game.
You see the story of their first meeting. UConn only turned it over 11 times, but generated 52 points off of 32 DePaul turnovers. Good thing we got that in right before UConn tunes it over, and DePaul looking for points off the giveaway. Strong steals that offensive rebound away from Novik. Brought across the timeline with her eyes up. And the Williams, another deflection and steal. This one in the hands of Hageman. Dvoria leading a transition opportunity. And we'll introduce Gino Auriemma, who said that most recent win, being down in the second quarter, tied at halftime, showed UConn some of their shortcomings. A reminder that they're not a complete team, at least not yet.
Well, when you're striving for perfection, you know, what is your measuring stick? You have to look at some of the things that you've done in your not so bright moments. And you know, I think UConn Huskies really addressed that in that second half and turned it up a notch and showed why they're the #1 team in the country.
Novik, as you told us off the top, leads this team in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks, and she's got the first hoop for DePaul.
And you can see Novik slowly adjusting to the physicality of the Big East play. You can tell a point of emphasis.
A longtime head coach, Doug Bruno, here in Chicago, stepped down recently. Jill Pizzotti, who's been with him at his side for so many of those successful seasons, taking over as the interim, and now the head coach, as Strong puts it off the window.
And Strong going to that right hand is strong. I mean, just absorbs contacts, creates contact.
Celebrated a 20th birthday yesterday. And they got a steal and a bucket in transition the other way. These will be few and far between. Michelle Ojo trying to capitalize. She'll have to do it at the free throw line. So she's that veteran who has moved into the starting lineup here in 2026 for DePaul.
And again, UConn picking up full court, making things difficult for the Blue Demons to start their offense, especially with a young backcourt. You have to make sure, because live ball turnovers, bad shots can really ignite the UConn secondary in transition.
Second coming for Ojo at 63% from the line this season. A fifth-year player. She's graduated from Delaware, and she's on pace for career best numbers. Now in the Big East. You mentioned the recent home wins for this program, Georgetown and Creighton. They lost at Villanova over the weekend. That was on Saturday. And now home to UConn. KK Arnold here just picked up the 100th assist of her season. Downhill and undeterred, KK Arnold.
And the biggest thing for KK right there, just from her growth from year to year, you saw that hesitation, you saw the change of speed on that pick and roll. I mean, that right there is a coach's dream coming off a pick and roll.
Strong with a 6-3 lead in the basketball, sends it back out to KK. Over the top. Strong playing off 2 feet is fouled by Nataya Nelson. So third in the country in assist-to-turnover ratio. KK Arnold picks up her 100th assist of the season in our opening segment.
And KK Arnold's numbers aren't loud, but her play and her patience and her growth at the point guard position is on full display this year. You saw that hesitation, JB, under control, playing at her own pace. I think that's getting towards mastery coming off a pick and roll when you can play at your own pace and not be sped up.
Wow. Consequential missed free throw there for Strong. She had knocked down 27 in a row. Her last miss was against DePaul 15 games ago. 1 out of 2, and it's been quite a week for her. A birthday, National Player of the Week honors, the cover of Slam Magazine. More on all that to come tonight.
And the biggest thing for the Blue Demons, you cannot get stuck in the corner. When you run to the corner in your press break, it serves as 2 other additional defenders. So you're being trapped and you have the sideline. So you have to stay away from the corners in this UConn press.
Elena West into the game, a redshirt freshman. She'll come to get Nelson. Got 7 minutes to go in our first frame. 7-3 UConn with the basketball from the baseline. Looking for Fudd and finds her in the corner. Receives the screen from Strong. Post entry. Pushed off the block. Sarah Strong surveys and scores.
And I think Sarah Strong, along with all of UConn, was surprised that DePaul did not double on that. That is a layup for Sarah, taking her time.
Allie Tim in the game, along with Hageman in the backcourt here. Novick. Able to maintain the possession, midway point of the shot clock. Hageman lights a 3, and a rebound to Novick. On the reload, this one falls for Devin Hageman at nearly 40% for her season.
I love that Devin took that with confidence. Sometimes the first shot doesn't go in. You know the adjustment you need to make, so you might as well follow it up with a quick 3.
A 3-level score. AZ Fudd from the mid-range.
Just so quick on that pull-up. AZ just gets to her spot.
Yesterday named a top 10 candidate for the Ann Myers Drysdale Award, which goes to the nation's top shooting guard. Hageman seeing the double. Arnold got the deflection. 22 left on the timer on the basketball for the Blue Demons.
And DePaul right here. Mastery and offensive rebound, kick out. The best time to kick out for a 3 as Hageman knocks it down is off of an offensive rebound. It's like a practice shot, JB.
Missing there from the short corner. That gets Strong out in transition. Running with Shade. Transition triple for Ashlyn Shade.
And Coach Ariema talks about how obviously they play through Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd, but the players around them are masters at their role. And when you put 3-point shooters around people that need to be doubled, that's a recipe for disaster if you're the opponent.
Williams got a tip on that rebound, but could not possess it. So a new 20 for DePaul in the front court. Another deflection at this defensive end for Sarah Williams, who's brought some of her best basketball in rivalry matchups against Notre Dame and Tennessee lately.
Looked like Odo came out of her shoe, but right here, Sarah Strong in transition. This is the versatility on full display. Draws the defense, kicks out to Shade for the shot. Right here, ooh. Ojo came out of the shoe.
We'll get reset on the bench here as she's spelled with 5 minutes to go in the first. Elena West with the basketball at the wing and 3 to shoot. Step back over Heckel. Well defended by UConn. That's a violation. Kaylee Heckel into the game for the first time. She had some big moments in that pull-away third quarter, and Sunday's win will pick up our conversation there with UConn on top 14-6 in Chicago.
Our very own Candace Parker.
Yeah, edition, I think 133 was it, is a personal favorite of mine.
JB, our producer's in your ear. He's telling you the issue and everything? Or did you just know that?
No, it's framed on my wall back home.
It's framed on your wall. As Heckel gets the bucket to go, UConn out of timeouts, drawn up, executed. They love that back screen, and it's really hard for opponents to guard because you're guarding a 3-point shooter and a cutter at the same time. Sometimes there's confusion there.
Novik trying to turn the corner. Heckle cut her off at the block, and still she's able to score it. I want to get back to Strong because you were able to talk with Gino Oriem about what makes her so special in the pantheon of great players that he's coached.
Yes, and one thing he said that stuck out was the fact that she played soccer growing up. And I'm a big believer as AZ Fudd with the nice catch and shoot quick release on that three. I mean, you can tell with Sarah Strong's footwork and the way that she moves, how she sees the game. I feel like when you grow up playing soccer, it's an unfair advantage when you switch to basketball.
And the build of a possession, right? Thinking a couple of passes ahead, as he seems to do as the point person in this offense. I don't know if she was that good defensively in soccer, though. Isabel into the game, playing with Fudd. Looking to drive and dish. Shea came to help her. There's no spot on the floor, Oriema says, where Strong isn't comfortable as she tees up another three
and
for
right
Fudd.
there is just full display why UConn is first in assists with 24.4 assists per game. There were some good shots that many of the players passed up to get that great look to AZ, who shoots 44% from the three.
Meg Newman with a good look to the opposite slot, but DePaul can't answer. Heckle looking for shade in the corner. 3 minutes to go in our first. Gina says it was one of the worst slumps he's ever seen. A
Oh,
great
my
shooter
goodness.
gopher, speaking of Fudd, but she snapped back in a big way on
Oh
Sunday.
my goodness, I was looking at Sarah Strong
Offensive, you
go
thought?
into the basket. No, I'm just talking about this strength right here on this bump. Regardless of what the foul calls, physicality, she wants all of that.
Meg Newman on the receiving end of that, called for the personal foul. And a baseline out of bounds, and a hoop for Ali Zabel, who is the Big East Player of the Week, in large part thanks to the 34 points she put up against Xavier, most by a bench contributor in UConn history. A deflection at the defensive end by Shade.
And what UConn does consistently on the defensive end that makes things hard on all opponents, especially in the Big East, is they apply so much ball pressure. Their hands are high. You're catching farther out from where you normally start your offense, which allows the cutting behind the offense, but you don't see it because of the ball pressure and because how far you are spread in the half court.
Ali Tim looking for the high post entry. Newman has to go out to midcourt to retrieve it. DePaul down 24-8 with the basketball here, and Zabel had her hands on another near steal. Instead called for the foul. So you mentioned our producer Tom McNeely, and I wondered if he could bring it back one more time for us, the Slam magazine that I think is worth revisiting, in addition to Sarah Strong's cover from this week.
JB, every hooper's dream is to be on Slam, and so it is unbelievable to see. AZ Fudd has been on Slam. Obviously, we saw the iconic Paige Beggars cover last year, but it is an honor as KK Arnold gets that one to go. It is an honor for all hoop heads to be on that magazine.
KK with the bucket, now wreaking havoc as she so often does at this defensive end. She's shooting 56% from the floor in conference play. Is KK Arnold. 10 picked up by Fudd. 12 left to shoot for the Blue Demons. Back to Tim. She hoists with 5. Well off the mark, and a rebound collected by Strong.
And DePaul's offense did not break the plane as it's the nice dime for Sarah Strong.
Keyhole shot there in transition.
Oh my goodness, thread the needle.
Novik cut off by that second defender. Midway point of the shot clock, we got a minute to go in our first. A 20-point lead for UConn and another steal. Arnold and Zabel both masked tonight. We're told Zabel's injury is not as serious. We won't get into the details of how it happened, but and one opportunity for AZ Fudd.
And when you have someone on your team, JB, that can do this in transition, the look at, the cut, the dime, the thread, the needle. As a result of the three-point shooters that are on the floor, you got Heckle on one side, you got AZ Fudd on the other. Of course, the defense is going to be spread out, and it allows playmakers like Sarah Strong to just feast on your transition defense.
I love that end zone look at it from the length of the court, because you know that KK's not played with her enough to expect that pass is going to be there.
Well, when you have someone talented like Sarah Strong, you cut because you know you can get the ball. So the cuts become harder because you know it is a possibility that you are going to get it.
Final 30 seconds of our first quarter. As you would expect, it's been all the number one team in the nation with a 31-8 lead. Skip pass to Hageman. That rattles out. Novik hunting an offensive rebound. Zabel took it away but stepped on the end line. And the final 19 seconds belong to DePaul.
And great extra hustle by Kate Novik. DePaul depends heavily on offensive rebounding, and I think that they have obviously not the size and length, but more so just the quickness and speed to be able to get those extra possessions.
Devin Hageman here with 9 left. Wing three, way off the mark. Novik an offensive rebound. Trying to finish it before the horn, and does. Using the glass nicely. That's when she's brought her best to the floor. I think that's one of the highest praises we can offer AZ Fudd this season.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's her movement. There was a confidence that was developed last year in the Final Four when she was the most outstanding player. You could see her getting back to playing the way that everyone knew she could and not shying away from contact. It is difficult mentally to get over knee injuries and to play through injuries, and so to see her back playing like this, I mean, watch out.
Heckle at full speed, a bit too strong in transition. Ajanique Mayo with the rebound, and now Hageman on the move. Let's send it over to Autumn.
Well, AZ Fudd is known as a scorer, but Gino Auriemma told me everything flows better when AZ Fudd is impacting the game beyond scoring. He said great shooters can get trapped in their own heads when shots aren't falling because they're perfectionists. So the focus becomes don't obsess over the ball going in. Get involved everywhere else. And that's when Gino said AZ affects the game in multiple ways. When the shots start to fall naturally, that's when she gets going.
Well, JB, I must say, in that second half of the Tennessee game, AZ Fudd was just put on a masterclass in efficiency on doing all those extra things that Coach Auriemma said. I mean, if you look at her stat line in that game, she had 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals. You look at those numbers, she's not taking bad shots. At times, there's shots that she turns down that she should be taking. And so you understand her impact, the work that she puts in. And when you're a shooter and you put the work in, you put the shots up, you let it fly.
Well, in addition to everything you saw there, already a career-high 54 steals and 70 assists coming into play tonight. So she is really filling out the box score in all the areas that carry her through a choppy week or two of shooting the basketball, and that's one of the things that Auriemma loved about her response over the weekend. West into trouble. Able to split that double and find Ojo. Now back in the hands of Devin Hageman. Michelle Ojo against Sarah Williams on the step through. Nice move from Ojo.
Well, Blue Demons putting up a master class in step throughs. I've seen a couple step throughs already. Kate Novik did one, and now Ojo.
The dribble handoff to one of the quickest triggers in all of college basketball, and a rebounding foul on Ojo, battling Sarah Williams.
Yes, right here, the setup. This is overseas type move. Shout out to assistant coaches Doyle, January, and Millinder, who played all pro basketball overseas. You can tell that with the footwork of the Blue Demons.
Flood with a soft touch, but it rolls off, and a rebounding foul over the back on UConn. It goes against Jana El-Alfi into the game for the first time. Should mention that UConn is without the 7-time Big East Freshman of the Week, Blanca Quiñones, tonight. Also still no Ice Brady or Carolyn Ducharme. So a shorter bench on the road here at DePaul.
And DePaul breaking the press. That's how they have to do it every time. There's got to be a flash in the middle. when they trap. When UConn traps in the corner, you have to give your ball handler an outlet. And JB, speaking of Blanca Quiñones, I was looking forward to seeing her play.
Me too.
You talk about versatility. I mean, she plays well beyond her years as a freshman.
No specific timetable for her return, but you get the sense it won't be too much longer. A shot by Mayo, a Connecticut native from Bridgeport. 7 unanswered for DePaul. Fudd on the backdoor cut. Hesitates, now the bounce pass. Jenna able to finish it with the left hand. Jenna El-Alfi.
El-Alfi, perfect cut. AZ Fudd, it's not going to be talked about. She plays off of 2 feet, which allows her to make plays like that.
KK Arnold averaging nearly 3 steals per, and she's fouled as she leads the break.
You watch the patience in this UConn offense. They've set up some things with 3-point shots. AZ cuts backdoor. El-Alfi, perfectly timed cut down the middle. But I think AZ playing off of 2 feet allowed her to have the control to be able to make that pass.
A Sunday game was one where, understandably, you get sped up against the length and the athleticism of the Lady Vols, but the response, especially in that second half, was one where they settled into the challenge, and I think that's exactly why Gino wanted that game in early February.
Well, there are certain teams where certain players are the X factor, and AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong were the X factor in that ball game. I mean, there were points in the third quarter where Sarah Strong just went one-on-one, and there was nothing the Lady Vols could do about it.
Playing through Ojo atop the circle. This is West driving against KK Arnold. Able to shed the defender, but couldn't score it. From there for a weak side board is Strong. Fudd makes the extra pass to the trail 3. AZ Fudd sets up Sarah Strong.
Yeah, good luck guarding that. First, she keeps it, keeps the outlet, throws a backdoor dime, and then on that possession, a trail 3.
Hickman looking for a quick answer, west to the baseline. Ojo down the lane. El-Alfi could not contain it. So you talked 50, 40, 90. What about Strong? Almost 60, 40, 90.
And no Division I player has done this. Obviously, both are shy about talking about intentions, but this is a club that in the WNBA and the NBA, it is an exclusive club. So to do this in college would be remarkable.
2 of them doing it in the same season.
On limited minutes. That's what's crazy. As Kate Novick gets to the free throw line on that play right here. KK Arnold down the middle in transition. That's the hardest thing to guard. KK Arnold not going to get the assist for that, but drives straight down, covers the court across, which makes the transition defense have to reset. And Sarah Strong doing perfectly trailing that. I mean, awesome execution by the Huskies.
To your point, each of them averaging about 28 minutes per game. Obviously played more in bigger stages, like over the weekend. But oftentimes in league games, they're done after 3 periods of play. Let's take a look at the upcoming Big East schedule. On Saturday on FS1 at noon Eastern, Butler and UConn. On ESPN Plus at 2 Eastern, you can see Seton Hall St. John's and Georgetown Villanova. Glad you're with us on True TV tonight. UConn resuming conference play. Fudd going to return the favor. Could not get Strong the assist there. A battle for the rebound. And it'll wind up in the hands of UConn. Ashlyn Shade in the mix there with KK Arnold.
And I think I did the announcer jinx for AZ Fudd. She came out 5 for 5. Since I did that package, she's 0 for 3. Getting on that play-by-play announcer's jinx.
Thank you for calling yourself out. I've been holding my tongue.
Yeah, you were going to call me out, I know.
Place the blame. Illegal screen away from the basketball. They'll catch Fudd there. So First on Strong, first on Fudd in recent minutes. DePaul still winning this second quarter by a 6-5 margin.
But it's plays like that. You know they're retreating. You know they're recovering from behind. You got to be careful with the ball in the middle of the floor.
Fudd attacks the closeout. You said it, playing off 2 feet. Always under control.
Plays off 2 feet. Always under control. You're not going to speed her up. She's going to attack the closeout going right or left.
Shakira McCline from East St. Louis, a junior in the game for the first time, matched up against Arnold. Ojo on the face-up. Now Alfie moving her feet nicely. Single digits on the shot clock for DePaul. Ojo in deep with 3. Lost the handle. McCline just sprays iron.
Building the same resilience within games, handling big moments and responding to mistakes. But in this game, she wants her team to continue to be resilient and make sure they clean up many actions moving forward.
All right, thank you, Autumn, as we resume out. Alfie with the miss and the foul. Bazabi, the longtime running mate with legendary head coach Doug Bruno. 4 decades on the job here in Chicago. Blue Demons made the tourney 17 straight times from 03 to 19. And we've got a wonderful feature about the friendship between him and Gino Auriemma coming up at halftime.
And I must say, Coach Bruno just has left a huge imprint on women's basketball around the Chicagoland area. Those Chicago Hoopers know his open gyms for high school students to come in, his open runs. I mean, what he's done, his camps, I mean, what he's done for the game of basketball. I mean, you look right here. This is 2004 Doug Bruno girls basketball camp. I bet you can't pick which one I am,
I
JB.
think I got you.
I don't know if you can. But that was my 8th grade going into freshman year. I mean, everybody that was around the Chicagoland loved Doug Bruno's camps, basketball. I love it, I love it, I love it. That was the slogan, and I mean, it's amazing. 39 years? 39 years.
That photo was before the dry fit era, I'm guessing.
It's definitely before the dry fit era.
Still a steady presence here.
I'm slowly dating myself, throughout this broadcast, so.
DePaul won the very first meeting between these schools back in December of '83. Speaking of dating ourselves, I was in Florida. UConn's won the 27 since, every single one under Gino's leadership. The game stagnating a bit here in the second quarter. Connecticut winning this frame by a narrow 7-6 margin after an explosive 31-point first quarter.
And what DePaul has done is they have not turned the ball over as much as they did. They're not taking bad shots, which end up being almost like a turnover. And so UConn has not gotten out in transition and hasn't been able to get those easy secondary looks like they did in that first quarter.
Novick, who has the only Big East triple-double this season, sends it in, and we are back underway with 8 to shoot. Elena West driving. Tip rebound claimed by West. She had a career-high 19 a couple games ago at Marquette. Left alone. A long 2 off the heel. And UConn will take over with 3:35 to go in the half. Strong with 8, Fudd with 15 to lead the way for UConn.
In these last 3 minutes, if you're DePaul, you have gotten a chance to set your defense.
Heckel dealing. Strong to finish. Haley Heckel
Right
had some
there.
big moments against Tennessee in transition.
Nobody wants to get in front of that, and in between Sarah Strong in the basket. Nice dish.
Mayer to the block. Meg Newman at 6'2". Airmails one.
Which opens up the paint, so I just have really been impressed. And then to add on that, you said 3rd and 3-point shooting. They pass up a lot of good looks to get great ones.
Here's one of their best shooters. Heckel sends it up top to Ashlyn Shade. Gets it back with a clean look. Mentioned wearing that mask tonight. Told it's not a serious injury. It might be more precautionary. Let's see how long that lasts. Novick feeds Mayo. stepping back for a long two. And Shea goes to vacuum up that rebound and lead the break. Heckle to her right. Make that Sabel to her right. And a steal for Novick. Bounce past Mayo. And a nice recovery by Kaylee Heckle. Got unrivaled action hitting Friday night. High battle breeze, and then the Lunar Owls go head-to-head with Laces. Coverage starts 7 Eastern on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. Unrivaled. Part of the reason why Candace hasn't been home in weeks.
Covering some exciting basketball from Atlanta studio. I can't wait for that one-on-one tournament. Doing that next week, I'm excited.
How about taking the show on the road? And the audience they drew in Philadelphia, incredible.
Single game record for attendance for a women's game. I mean, you look at what this league has done in terms of proving that if you invest in women's sports, people will come and watch.
Shade missing the dribble pull-up. And with 2 minutes to go, back in the hands of DePaul. Talk about the role she plays on this team. One thing that we don't tout enough is her offensive rebounding. She's third on the UConn roster behind Williams and El Alfie in that category at 5'10". It's a nice find. Tim gets a clean look, and it falls. Ali Tim.
Ali Tim, known for her three-point shot. Nice pull-up right there. But that was perfect in transition. A flash, which allows them to open up. That shot on the backside.
Great ball movement, no bucket for UConn. And despite just making one of their last 9 shots, DePaul has stayed connected with Connecticut in this second quarter, separated by only 1 point in the period.
Looks like I saw a twirl of the finger. There might be a review.
The call on the floor is confirmed. DePaul ball.
Okay. Good look at Kate Novick there, a junior from Belarus. First year here after a couple at Moorhead, where she was second team all OVC both years. Not shooting it as well as she had hoped, but they nonetheless want her to take more from three-point range. Knowing that she has that in her tool set.
Coach Pizzotti emphasized her being physical and being able to handle physicality and the adjustment to that in the Big East.
Here she is in attack mode and denied by Sarah Williams.
And right there on that move, that's the physicality, the length of UConn. You got Sarah Williams on one end. I like that Kate Novick's taking it at her.
Williams with a great find and the layup for Zabel. Final minute of our second quarter. Novick looking down at the post. We'll send it over to Devin Hageman instead, and they'll rotate it. Ali Tin off the shoe of Natalia Nelson, and a violation gives it back to UConn.
And what UConn's defense does is it takes the ball out of the hands of playmakers. When you have the type of pressure, you relieve pressure with the pass, and you're passing to players that aren't used to starting the offense, that aren't used to facilitating and making reads off of cuts.
Trying to connect with Sarah Williams on that lob pass. They'll try again with 33 seconds to go in the half and 13 on the shot clock. Williams yet to get a shot up so far tonight. Does have a couple of assists. AZ Fudd to send it in through Heckle. There it is. Second attempt and the first bucket for Sarah Williams.
Sarah Williams doing a great job pushing the front up the lane, which unlocked the path.
Now she gets a steal. DePaul able to rip it right back. Shot clock turned off. Final 10 seconds. Demons flying with Nelson. All net to close the half. Let's see if UConn has any interest in driving it up. They'll head to the locker room on top 44-20.
You know, we've gotten some good open looks. We just got to knock down some shots this half. But you know, UConn is notorious for their runs, and we just got to establish ourselves on the defensive end of the floor.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Autumn.
All right, first possession. Pass baseline deflected. Still plenty of time on the shot clock for DePaul in the half court. They were led in the scoring column with 7 from Novick. In that first half of play, she buried 3 of her 4 attempts.
In the way that DePaul kind of steadied the ship a little bit in that second quarter is they took care of the ball and they didn't take bad shots, which were runouts. Right there, Hageman knocks down the 3, but you cannot allow UConn to flow in transition. That's playing an uphill battle.
Easy Fudd off the Sarah Strong screen. A 2-player game on the left side of the floor with Nelson defending. Now Fudd from the elbow, missing. And it looks like UConn will get a new possession, a reset to 20.
And Coach Ariema talked about, you know, as you see Sarah Williams getting that extra possession for UConn, he talked about their bigs, their centers, their forwards, paint points, and how important the play of their bigs will be in March as Sarah Strong gets a dime post to post. We call that a buddy pass.
Familiar look from the third quarter and their victory against Tennessee.
Right here, Sarah Williams operating Sarah Strong to the basket. I mean, that's a nice cut.
Oh, a collision here on the inbound. Williams walking away, no worse for wear, but Natalia Nelson hit the deck.
Yeah, right here. It's like a DB running through.
Sure.
Running through the ball on that play.
Let's make that the only Super Bowl reference we need here this week.
Yeah, we don't need those Super Bowl references here in Chicago.
Although you and I can relive the playoff game between the Rams and the Bears if you want.
We're good.
Okay. Battle for possession here, and on the arrow, it's like Ashlyn Shade will get it back in the hands of her Huskies. Shade had a career-high 9 steals a week ago in their midweek game against Xavier. KK Arnold will bring it, matched up with Devin Hageman in the backcourt. But using that Sarah Williams screen once and now twice. A long 2 goes begging. And a whistle on the rebounding battle. It looks like we'll stay at this end. First on Kate Novick. The personal foul will give it back to UConn. AZ Fudd. Wow, the rhythm dribble to get herself collected in the corner.
The rhythm bobble, still able to get that quick trigger off. Right there, as DePaul got lucky, UConn Huskies triple teamed her.
Hageman with the crossover, erased up top by Arnold. And UConn takes over at the 8-minute mark. Rhythm bobble, should I build that into my basketball lexicon?
Well, if you shoot like AZ Fudd, it doesn't matter if you dribble, bobble, stumble. That thing is a quick trigger.
30 points, a half a dozen assists between them. Williams at the top, now Shade. Not too ambitious with the post-entry passes tonight. I think that's what we heard from Gino Auriemma going into the half.
Yeah, Coach Auriemma a little frustrated with his squad forcing passes into the post. You understand that UConn is bigger, stronger, they have more length, but he doesn't want them to stare at the pass and get unnecessary turnovers.
It gets it back to Hageman. Tim spots up. Those are the looks that you heard Coach Pizzotti talk about at halftime. Here's another. I mean, that's open against UConn. They just have not been able to stick a high enough percentage of them. Still shooting sub 30 on the night. And we'll get a timeout, DePaul. Johnson and Chicago native Candace Parker. I'm JB Long. Tom McNeely, our producer. Jonathan Bywater, our director. And we're back underway. UConn and DePaul for the second time this season. The top-ranked Huskies looking for a wire-to-wire victory and their 24th overall this season. AZ Fudd turns the corner and flips it in.
There's not a lot of east-west with AZ's game. You know, she doesn't go sideline to sideline. A straight line drive, pump fake as DePaul breaks the press. Ojo gets the bucket, but I think that's what's so impressive. There's not a lot of extra stuff with AZ's game. She's straight to the point, catch and shoot, or catch and drive to the rim.
That's her 7th 20-point game this season. First in conference play. And with a shorter rotation available to Oriema tonight, she might have a bit more runway here. Strong's turn. Long rebound, Fudd has it. To KK. Arnold, nice find. What a cut from Sarah Strong, who pays it off.
And a perfectly executed back cut. She's been on the front end of that, dishing and assisting. Now she's the beneficiary of that.
Arnold averaging 4.5 assists per contest. Able to cut off DePaul in transition. Oria missing from 3. And the Blue Demons surrounding Sarah Williams on that rebound. Commit the foul.
And JV, let's go back to this offense right there. This is what I'm talking about, north-south. AZ Fudd, ahead of steam, goes downhill. And then again, you want to deny, I'm going to spin off. The lane is clear and open because you have three-point shooters spreading your offense. Sarah Strong, perfectly executed spin.
We've got 3 fouls on Michelle Ojo now as Fudd lights a 3. DeVoria drive and kick. Novick attacks that closeout. Bit out of control, but a foul down low, and they'll go to the baseline. Fudd now with 23 points on 9 of 14 shooting. She has drilled 4 from behind the arc. Heckle back on the floor. She spells KK Arnold, and Ali Zabel, the reigning Big East Player of the Week, returns as well. Credit to Carl Ademick, who covers the Huskies so well, for pointing this out. Zabel is the second UConn player to be named Big East Player of the Week in a reserve role. The first was an All-American, Shea Ralph. That was in 1998, and that week she shared the honor with AZ Fudd's mother, Katie, at Georgetown. How's that for a full circle moment?
That's amazing. JB dropping knowledge with the staff.
No, that's all Carl.
Yeah.
I'm just borrowing from his brilliance. Just above the 5-minute mark. DePaul still can't dial it in from distance. Heckle driving the action, decides to spin out with Zabel. Strong comes to get it. Midway point of the third quarter. This is Sarah Strong. Comes up short to Doubt with a new 20.
So I just enjoy watching it.
And you mentioned just watching the game. Right now, 2 storied programs with Gino Auriemma and you going at it for decades as well. But talk about that brotherhood and relationship with Coach Gino Auriemma. What has that been like for you?
Well, Gino and I never set out to become friends. We just played against each other, became competitors against each other, and naturally it just became basketball buddies, and that's just really how it's worked. He's a great friend. His family's a great family, so I just have enjoyed getting to know Gino through the years.
You've given so much to this game. I mean, when you think about the Midwest, it's the Doug Bruno camp. When you think about how many names have came through, like a Candace Parker who came through your camp, like a Joe Pizzotti, what has it meant to you to have that impact, not just on the game, but to younger women?
Well, I'm just happy that I've been able to contribute and provide a place for young women to take their game to another level, for women to have the opportunity, for young girls to have the opportunity to compete. That the competitiveness through sports teaches kids how to become better adults differently than in the classroom. And so it's just only fair and right that women get the opportunity to compete in sports, not just in the classroom.
Not only were you a teacher to these young women, but you will have the opportunity to learn from them as well. In your coaching tenure, what's the biggest thing that you learned about yourself throughout your legacy?
Just these young women taught me about, just about what it takes to get up in the morning, put a smile on your face, and work hard at the opportunity at hand. And it's just been a joy to coach. I never set out to become a women's basketball coach. One day I was told to get on the floor and coach the women's team because the coach who had been the coach was on vacation. So I went down there. Jeannie was coaching the team herself. The athletic director, Gene Sullivan, looked down and says, well, where's the coach? Came up in the office and said, go coach the women. And I had the guts to say, you're going to pay me any more? He says, real coaches pay to coach. You don't ask to get paid, you pay to coach. And he's right. You love it.
Your love has shown through this game, for years and years. Thank you for everything that you've done for this game. I appreciate it.
I'm the one that's been blessed. I've been blessed to have such great, talented young women and watch them grow.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, I appreciate you bringing us that conversation. I wish you all could see the smile on Candace Parker's face throughout.
As you see, a direct byproduct of Coach Bruno and his dedication to the women's game. He's being modest. Chicagoland, you were somebody if you were invited to the Doug Bruno camp. And I just must say that he was at the forefront of women's basketball before its popularity surged, before it was a thing. And so it was an honor to have him be a lead, and also just in terms of him continuing to show up. He came to our Chicago Sky games. He is here at a regular season DePaul game. It's just his commitment to this program. It's honestly so respectable and so just an honor to be in his presence.
We're glad to be here tonight with you, Candace. I know this is a special arena and a special city to you. We know your championship banner is in the rafters, and a lot of special connections for you in this basketball community.
100%. Spent a lot of hours honing my game in the city of Chicago, and obviously DePaul, being able to share the arena with DePaul for the championship. So special times, JB.
All right, that three snaps an 8-0 sprint from UConn. It's DePaul a little bit of life. Kaylee Heckel brings it across. And now a deflection defensively. Ajanique Mayo is a redshirt junior. She's a former Connecticut High School Player of the Year, so you know this game is meaningful for her. DePaul's done really well to limit the transition opportunities, so only single digits in terms of fast break points for one of the most dynamic transition teams in the sport. To settle into the half court here, Al-Alfi gives it back to Fudd, rising to thread two more.
And right there, AZ Fudd coming off the handoff with the post players not up to touch. AZ's going to make you pay with that sweet pull-up.
She's up to 25 points, and UConn looking for a stop now. Al-Alfi scoops it up. The numbers if Sabel wants to push. Shade feeding the hot hands. Oh, the assist was there, but it's deflected and stolen. Nice hands by Kate Novick. Lena West, part of that redshirt freshman class, initiates the half-court offense for the Blue Demons. Novick against Fudd. Finds West. Misses the three. Good checkouts all around, and Shade has the board. Heckel crossing the floor. Sets up Shade and buries the three.
And Heckel, again, we call that a slice in transition, where you take the ball from one side down the middle of the court and make the defense have mismatched problems, as that generated the three.
Ojo, playing through three fouls herself, puts one on Al-Alfi here and earns a trip to the free throw line in the final minute of the third.
Right here, You draw a diagonal line across the court. That's where you want to go in transition. It makes the transition defense have to shift from strong side to weak side. Obviously some confusion on that, and Ashlyn Shade knocks it down.
Michelle Ojo to the line. She's moved into the starting 5 for DePaul here in the new year. Alfie just took her 3rd personal foul.
And right here, UConn has gone small in the last couple minutes with AZ essentially playing like the 4 position.
The Sarah Strongless lineup for UConn here in the closing minute of the 3rd quarter. Thud using that Alfie screen to separate. Could not score it. Jana's on the offensive board and is fouled. Novik takes her 2nd, 4th on DePaul, and we invite you to cheer on your favorite Big East teams with officially licensed fan gear. For the best selection of team apparel and accessories, head to shopncaasports.com today. Arnold puts her back to the basket. Seen a 2nd defender. She's fouled on the way up.
We talk about versatility in the post players right there. KK Arnold going to that mid-post action right there. Big guard.
More assists than field goal attempts tonight for KK Arnold. Her first trip to the line. Rare empty trip to the stripe for Connecticut. And the final seconds of the 3rd belong to DePaul. Meg Newman with 10. Back in the hands of Devin Hageman. And Shade there defending. Mayo with 3. A long way from the buckets. Newman has to hoist. And that's how we go to the 4th.
Big East play, you're winning by an average of 35 points per game, but I think it's excellence is in the details. Excellence is in understanding it's not in the results. It's in how you're doing it, how hard you're cutting, how much pressure you're putting on the ball, and I think that they learned from last year that when you have 2 primetime players, as we saw last year, they had 3, Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd, Sarah Strong. They have to rise to the occasion. And in top 5 matchups and top 15 quad 1 wins, those 2 have come to play. And that gives you confidence going into March.
Handful of wins over ranked opponents. The largest margin of victory in both the Notre Dame and the Tennessee series. They've avenged all 3 of their losses from last year along the way as KK Arnold opens up the 4th quarter. And it's not just Big East blowouts. Let's tell it like it is. Only 2 opponents have played UConn within 26 points all season, no matter what conference they hail.
And even in their Michigan win, which was their closest win of this year, they were up by a lot and gave up a lead. So I think that there are tendencies that you learn.
KK Arnold again.
You can chase perfection, but you chase perfection while building habits. You know, building habits, building a muscle, because you can't just turn it on in March.
Point out no Blanca Quinones again tonight. Hoping to see her back in the UConn lineup shortly. Offensive rebound for Meg Newman, but in terms of the high-level elite talent, she takes this UConn team to a different gear when she steps off the bench. Out in transition, KK Arnold taking over the 4th.
Right there, KK Arnold gets the bucket in transition. But Ashlyn Shade, practice, well executed, but KK having herself an efficient night.
She's got all 6 in this quarter. So far holding DePaul scoreless since the quarter break. Hageman sends it to the corner. Novik gives it up. Newman connects. Let's check in with Autumn.
Well, when UConn honored guard their 2015 and 2016 title team. KK got a chance to catch up with the four-time national champ and UConn legend Mariah Jefferson, which is her favorite player, by the way. She told me having a relationship is something I cherish and could never even imagine. Even being able to text her, she's been picking her brain since last year to see how she can be better as this team's point guard. And Mariah's recent text to KK has been keep pushing and being you and keep doing you.
That's awesome. Nice report there, Autumn. And, Candace, you mentioned a lot of role players around two superstars. Maybe we can touch on some of those role players and what you like about how they fit in around AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong.
Well, Coach Ariema talked about being a star in your role. And when you have players that you're building around, all you have to do night in and night out is be good at what the team expects you to do. So with that being said, you have three-point shooters capable of knocking down threes, as you've seen Ali Zabel knocking down 10. You just talk about across the board with UConn, just the intensity that you cut can open up something for Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd, and understanding defensive rebounding on every possession.
Jenna Alfie pirouetting for two and a free throw to follow.
Right there, Alfie doing a great job. A little pirouette, as you said. Right here, a little crab dribble over the top, finishing through the contact before the double can come.
So with respect to those roles, it's embracing them, right? And having clarity in terms of what your superpower is within the context of this team. And it seems like they've leaned into that really well.
100%. And the key to every offense is space, right? You're always trying to generate space. You have two space creators and your shooters on the perimeter. And then you have two playmakers that will make you pay if you're not out defending them. And so I just think it's a match made in heaven. The tenacity and the intention that UConn runs their offense with around their two superstars is fun to watch.
Those two outscoring DePaul here tonight. Something they've done twice already this season. 39, and it appears their evening is through with 6.5 to go. UConn will get Ayanna Patterson into the game for the first time. It'll be her 18th appearance of the season. She's 34 in blue. Wow, from the three-point line to the second side. Ali Zabel, the reverse layup.
Ali Zabel doing a great job. She's slotted into that AZ Fudd spot where she's going to be getting a lot of those flare screens. As you see Heckle with the steal and the finish in transition. And also a note, JB, when you're blowing teams out on a regular basis, your secondary unit gets a lot of practice in games like this. And I think that if you're UConn, you can see who's dependable down the stretch when, everything shortens up, rotations shorten up, and you're going into March.
Novik with her first field goal of our second half. Paul only put up 35 points in the first meeting between these teams back in December in Connecticut. That's where they are with 5.5 to go. Arnold comes back to get it. Up top, Zabel. Patterson exploring off the bounce, comes up short on her shot, and Meg Newman boards it. A rare run-out opportunity for Mayo and DePaul. And they come up short. Zabel run off that three-point line. Again, dips inside and is fouled on the dish.
JB, I must say, it is cold here in Chicago. This Cali girl, I've gotten soft moving out west.
And you know it's a hockey city, too.
I had to pull out my big coat coming to Chicago.
Visit any of your favorite restaurants or haunts while you're here? Taste of the town?
I mean, Chicago food is some of the best food in the country, of course, JB. I don't want to give away all my spots, though.
They got to pay you. That's sponsored content. Shot fake and a stick for Ashlyn Shade. Got her defender lifted and made her pay.
And again, Ashlyn Shade, when Sarah Strong's out, when AZ Fudd's out, you run the offense through different players, and they get comfortable as Shade shows and knocks it down.
Once again, mid-post. Novick turns and is fouled. Looks like they'll get Ali Zabel with that personal foul. It wasn't just her 10 made threes tying a UConn record against Xavier. The three she hit at the end of the 14-0 burst, I think, is what put it out of reach on Sunday as well.
We keep referring back to that game, JB. I feel like you're referring back on purpose.
It's a nice use of the royal we. I see you. That'll be the last reference with 14 to go. I may have some UConn fans egging me on.
I'm sure it wasn't in UConn fans' bingo card to have myself call this game, but it has been a treat to watch the #1 team in the country up close and personal.
So this was scheduled. We planned it this way, not necessarily in reaction to the 30-point win.
Yeah, everyone that did scheduling was hilarious, putting this game after the UConn-Tennessee rivalry.
Elise Fisher in the game, turning it over. Novick on the run, through traffic, is fouled. Deanna Patterson's first personal foul. Redshirt sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And that'll get Michelle Ojo to the free throw line. With this victory here tonight, it should be the 19th win in a row by at least 25 points for Connecticut, extending the longest D1 streak in a generation. Zabel rips down that rebound. Eccles at the scoring table, waiting to check in. Next stoppage. Shade and Arnold, the two starters left on the floor for Connecticut. Patterson pounds it in the paint. Comes up too strong. Novick has the rebound with her eyes up in transition. Kate Novick, well, they never stopped the ball. She lost the handle on the way out. There's been a lot of discussion about a consensus #1 team, and does UCLA deserve any credit for the schedule they've played? We're fortunate to have Autumn Johnson, not just for her storytelling, but for her bracketology specialty. What say you, Autumn?
Yeah, let's check out the 1 seeds. We got UConn, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina. And UConn right now, currently in full control as the #1 overall seed. The only undefeated team in the nation, including 6 Quad 1 wins on their resume with Louisville, Michigan, Utah, USC, Iowa, and recently Tennessee. The next team eyeing that spot is UCLA. The Bruins' lone loss comes to Texas in November, which puts them as the #2 overall seed. And then you have South Carolina and Texas with those 2 losses. So right now, UConn in full control. The first top 16 reveal will be February 16th, so we'll get a better pulse from the selection committee then. And of course, the big day coming up real soon, Selection Sunday, March 15th.
Thank you, Autumn. And Heckle puts an exclamation point on your report. 80 points now for UConn. You and I have now seen all 4 of those teams in person between Las Vegas and the Players Era event, and now here in Big East Conference play.
And you see the benefit of playing different styles of teams out of conference play, because you want to prepare your team for different types of play. You have the teams that press. You have the teams that are slower and play a slower pace like Texas. You have offensive rebounding in South Carolina. So you want to play other types of teams right there as Patterson gets that and for the best.
Patterson caps it at the stripe. She's missed so much time. It was nearly 1,000 days after multiple season-ending injuries, knee and shoulder, early in her career. Again, this year with a concussion, always great to see Brianna Patterson on the floor for UConn. Some 2 minutes to go here in Chicago. UConn closing in on a 24-0 start. Elise Fisher, an All-American in her own right. Reminded that Olivia Bucosa, the number 3 player in the nation, McDonald's All-American honoree now officially. She was in attendance for Sunday's most recent win. Fisher to the foul line. Olivia, the reigning New York State Player of the Year, adding to the recruiting haul for Gino Auriemma and the Huskies.
And right here, I know this game is out of hand, but if you're on the court right now, your game is on full display as to why you need to earn minutes. In terms of your doing a dress rehearsal for your coaches so that they can see that you can contribute in meaningful moments. And so all the players out there that are watching this with the game out of hand, there's still work to be done to get into the rotation and to show what you can contribute.
10 different UConn players have scored as part of this 84-38 lead. Ojo's had good moments tonight and looking to add to them at the foul line as Patterson gives the foul. Ojo with 8 points, a couple of rebounds and assists, and going back to the stripe to shoot her 7th and 8th free throws.
And some things to build on for DePaul. You look at Kate Novick, her stat line today, super efficient. I think she did some positive things. 4 of 7, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, only 3 turnovers. So if you're a coach, you want to look at that and say, how can we build off of this? How can we play around her and play off of Kate Novick?
Throw some thank yous in there while we can. Tom McNeely, our producer. Jonathan Bywaters, our director. Leslie Zaroli, our associate director. Thanks to Keon Grissom and Jay Maddox on graphics. Grayson Manley with us, our statistician courtside here in Chicago. 1 minute to go. UConn about to sweep the season series with DePaul once again. Zabel to the baseline and the reverse layup from Fisher.
And Fisher, a perfectly timed cut. Your weak side defender turns their head. Cut back door.
Ojo face-up game. Nelson attacks off the bounce, and Heckel tried to rip it out. The Arrow will keep it at this end with 41.9. This will be the 40th victory in a row dating back to last season for the Huskies. Their 60th straight league victory, including tournament games against Butler over the weekend, their next test. The average margin of victory continues to balloon towards 40 points per game. Hageman short clock situation. Over Heckel, made her miss. Zabel has another rebound. The shot clock is turned off. A low-scoring second quarter where some turnovers piled up, about all you can pick at tonight for Connecticut, coming off the emotional victory at home over the weekend. They go on the road and they resume conference play. 86-40, a win over DePaul. The 5th time this season they've held an opponent to 40 or fewer points. 2nd time head-to-head against these Blue Demons. Extending the longest D1 streak in 25 years. 19 wins in a row by at least 25 points, with Fudd and Strong leading the way.